Hey, folks, give me just a minute. We are going to wait for some people to get in here. And we will be getting live. So give me just a couple minutes. I'm waiting for some people to get in over here on Bayuba World. So give me just a couple seconds. Hi, folks. I am here. We was just kind of waiting for everybody to get into here. Well, folks, do I have a lot of news for you all tonight? Mm. Andrew and Tristan Tate has been arrested in Miami. Charges unknown. With the spokesperson for the U.S. Marshal Service saying that the warrant was sealed. We have armored personnel carriers on the move in Iran. That's big news. That means Iran's expecting a ground fight, basically. Hey, prepper. Also, folks, for the ones that are still in Discord and you have not moved your membership over to Coffee Club, you need to do so now. I will be going through again in a day or two and removing more people. Todd and Prepper. I'm not for sure if you two are in Discord. I think Prepper is. If so, you need to get to that link and get your membership squared away. How are you folks over here on the Rumble tonight? U.S. airstrikes are now being reported in nearly every major Iranian province adjacent to the Strait of Hormuz and the Arabian Gulf. Retaliatory Iranian strikes is to be expected in the near term. This was being reported an hour ago. Well, folks, it gets worse. U.S. Strategic Petroleum Reserve has now hit a 40-year low. We keep going down. I'm doing okay, Lisa. We keep going down. We have now hit a 40-year low. The reserve has never been this low before in its operational time. We are to the levels last seen when the reserve was being filled for the first time. Imagine that. People are still talking about excess crude. To the people that's still saying we have excess crude, I give up. I hope every one of you lose your jobs and end up homeless. That's this administration who I'm talking to. They keep saying we have excess crude. No, we do not. This is the greatest supply shock in history since the Industrial Revolution has occurred. You idiots. The weekend oil approaches $85. Ignoring the fact idiot analysts claim there is a super glut. And then the other one's saying that there's a flood of oil. So much oil that we're drowning in it. The UAE left for OPEC to flood the market with infinite oil. But there's trillions of barrels in the ground to be assessed when we need it. Oh my goodness, people. Do not listen to people that is saying this. We are going into the biggest oil shock in history since the Industrial Revolution has occurred. We are going to run out of oil. And this is going to happen within the next months. 6 months tops. "40 ballistic missiles in just 53 minutes. Kyiv endured the most intense ballistic assault of the full-scale war." And this is ongoing still in Kyiv. "We have burned through all the buffers. Oil traders warn market is running on fumes." Brent crude futures jumped a little more than 4%, blah, 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 blah. That move follows report the Trump administration has notified Israel it was deploying additional air assets. The Financial Times has spoke with energy traders at end of the week who warned that slowing tanker traffic from the Strait of Hormuz could trigger a more severe supply crunch than the first round. "We have burned fuel through all the buffers we had, everything. All that is gone now." And for the people, especially this people that is running the place right now, saying that, oh, the oil is flowing, it's making it through the strait. No, it is not. International Energy Agency has revealed that member countries has released 3/4 of the planned 400 million barrel emergency reserves announced in March. So 3/4 of that is now gone. Poofed. The founder of Energy Experts pointed out that heading into the U.S.-Iran war, the global energy market had around 400 million barrels of excess inventories. Now we have close to nothing. The market complacency around the Hormuz flows is being severely tested. Um, let's see here. Further escalation. The conflict in the Middle East is escalating further as Iran reportedly targeted power plants, desalination plants in Kuwait. Yeah, Kuwait is having a very huge issue. I will get more into that in a few. I am going to share this over here. I want to show you all a minute something. I sent that to wrong. This is the all traffic. I've got to pull this out just a second because it's in my DMs. Okay, folks. This over here on the left-hand side was before the war started. This was during most of the fighting and Iran having all the strait shut down. This was when the MOU was active. Still, it was nothing like it was before. Nothing. So do not let them lie to you that we saw ungodly amounts of oil pass through the strait during the MOU deals, that it was flowing like it never had before. It was not. It's lies. So there hasn't really been any oil to speak of. Now there has been a little bit, a few drops. It's like a couple. Imagine you're in the desert and your water bottle has a few drops of water left in it. That's about what has came through this strait compared to what it was doing. If you take all of them bars, now the the bottom, the dark bars, that is the oil supply. The tan ones is the oil product tankers. The red one is the LPG. And the yellow is the LNG, liquid petroleum gas and liquid natural gas. If you take all these little black bars and stack them up, it's probably about a month's worth, if that, of oil that has went through the strait in 4 months. A half a month's worth, probably. You're probably looking at about a half a month's worth. That's not including all the other things like helium. And China has just announced that they're going to block all exports of helium. Now, with I think that will be over 40% of the world's helium offline. The U.S. is a major producer of helium, but the United States alone cannot produce enough helium to sustain everything. We're going to run out of oil. That's all there is to it. We have now burned through all the buffers, all the stocks, barrels of oil we had put back in the Western Hemisphere. We've got pieces of ceiling falling off in the metro station in Kiev. Jordan people are out celebrating as the missiles rain down on American bases. Sickening. Of course, I'm gonna go over this. We won't have too long of a stream over here on YouTube. I'm just gonna run down all of this and read it off to you, and we're gonna end the YouTube, and then we're gonna come over on to Rumble, and we're gonna show you a boatload of video. We've got CRAM activity over northern Iraq tonight. We've had a massive sinkhole that has grown to the size of a 5-story building in Novorossiysk, Russia. It's not that wide, but it's deep. Authorities have been unable to eliminate a huge collapse near a residential building for a week after an accident involving an old sewage collector. The hole reached to a depth of 16 meters. A pool of sewage has formed inside the crater. It looks like this is the very hole Russia has been sliding into recent years. A more symbolic image would be hard to find. Yeah, that's about right. So it's the size of a 5-story building, and it's full of sewage. That sums Russia up. Yeah. Yep. Sums it up. Of course, we all know we've had a massive missile attack on Kyiv tonight. The United States is sending more fighter jets to the Middle East. F-16 squadrons has already landed in Jordan. Many more is on the way. So, bunch more fighter jets and assets heading to the Middle East. Now, we're being lied to. This administration says there was only deaths and very minor injuries in the attack in Jordan last night. Well, folks, somehow I don't believe that. I'm sure there was only deaths and very minor injuries in this attack, and absolutely no serious or critical injuries, like um oh traumatic brain injuries, TBIs, um because this surely gets minor stuff and dozens of TBIs among other injuries. It was geolocated now, and guess where it was? It was right in an housing structure in the base. It was like the Connex housing containers. So don't believe the lies. It'll come out. Like last time, they got caught covering it up, and they had to come clean on it. Iran has destroyed 3 more desalination plants in Kuwait. Multiple generators are now completely wiped out. Massive fires everywhere. Kuwait Ministry of Electricity is now begging citizens to use water only between 9 a.m. and 3 p.m. Kuwait has water for the next 2 weeks, and then they're going to be out. Kuwait is going to run out of water within the next 2 weeks. It's going to be sooner than that if this war keeps going. The can of worms has been unleashed, and the fecal metal has hit the ceiling fan, or the air handling device, as I like to say it. No, it doesn't surprise me, Michael, but I'm just telling everybody to not believe the lies. All right, well, Ukrainian has hit the Russian Amazon. The main headquarters in Moscow. This place was massive. It was 9.3 million square feet. There was so much smoke that has came off of this place that it has blocked out the sunlight, and it is in other provinces of Russia now. The smoke is. It's traveled that far. Okay. Now, I've told you this already. U.S. officials are now worried recent Iranian strikes on U.S. bases and infrastructure in the Middle East and their increasing accuracy are a result of military to military intelligence cooperation with Russia and China. We already knew this. Russia is feeding Iran targeting data to target U.S. troops. And you know for a fact China is too. Well, here's something else that I have showed you all months ago. But Fox News is saying, oh, this is brand new. New satellite images, Fox News says. Well, folks, I've had these satellite images for months. Revealed China is building full-scale replica of a U.S. Navy destroyer in a remote desert. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we already knew about this. They've done aircraft carriers too. This part of that desert is known for this. And the U.S. Army has proudly put out pictures of strikes on bridges and tunnels. Well, we did this last night. Guess what? Iran has already dug out or made new roads for the dry riverbeds. These tunnels and roads are already back in operation. So that's millions of dollars just kind of wasted. And ammunition that we can't afford to waste. Wasted. And I got video of it. Here is a black mother in North Carolina. While her kid was sitting in the back of the car crying, fearing for her mother's life, she pulls into an ER parking lot and starts eating shrimp. She has intentionally gave herself an allergic reaction eating shrimp. Yeah, I'll let you listen to this through my microphone. This is her words.
Yeah, I'm so allergic to shellfish, but I don't care. It's hump day. And when I finish, I'm going to walk myself in the hospital and seek treatment.
That our tax money is paying for. And her kid's in the back seat crying.
I can't believe my body decided to turn on me after all these years. Eating shellfish, but I just had to have some today. Did y'all see? I'm in the right spot.
And proceeds to laugh about it. And she is, of course, on the free insurance for Aetna insurance. This is what our taxes are paying for. Sad. Germany has now raised its security assessment to the high threat level, Interior Minister says, warning the attacks could occur at any time. Authorities have identified concrete evidence of attack planning targeting infrastructure, institutions, and individuals. If you know anybody in Germany, or have family in Germany, or have any friends in Germany, or somebody traveling to Germany, Germany has now got concrete evidence, and they have identified attack planning against institutions, individuals, infrastructure. Keep your head on a swivel. This is now imminent in Germany. And I'm going to go ahead and kind of go out on a limb here. And say this is probably from Russia. So, yeah. Iran has formally withdrawn from the Istanbul MOU, the Memorandum of Understanding with the United States. Deputy Foreign Minister announced that Iran is immediately suspending all obligations under the agreement, arguing that Russia had already abandoned its own commitments. He said Iran's priority now is the country's defense rather than diplomacy. They have now ruled out any renewed engagement with Washington, declaring that Iran will not enter new negotiations with the United States under any circumstances. Iran says the Dubai airport should be evacuated because it's next on the target list. Do you know? Can anybody tell me about the Dubai airport? What I'm going to do here a minute is I'm going to pull this up. Over here, and I'm going to let the AI read this off to you. I don't feel like reading it all. And we found this cool little thing that I can do yesterday. Open in reading mode. Read. Well.
Breaking, the Middle East is teetering on the edge of an apocalyptic economic shutdown, as Tehran issues an explicit, terrifying ultimatum to unleash total devastation on the world's most critical commercial hubs if Washington strikes back tonight. In a chilling escalation broadcasted through Iran's state-affiliated Fars news agency, a senior Iranian security official issued a final warning directly targeting the United Arab Emirates. The decree states that if the United States launches retaliatory strikes against Iranian civilian infrastructure tonight, immediate evacuations must begin at the international airports of Dubai and Abu Dhabi, as well as the mega ports of Fujairah and Jebel Ali. By holding the UAE's multi-billion-dollar global transit arteries hostage, Tehran is threatening to instantly paralyze international aviation and freeze a massive portion of global maritime trade in the Persian Gulf. This brazen threat represents a desperate but highly dangerous gamble by a cornered regime, effectively trying to use global economic terror to deter an imminent American kinetic response. By explicitly naming the crown jewels of UAE infrastructure, the literal heart of global tourism and shipping, Tehran is trying to force Gulf nations to pressure Washington into backing down. This operation confirms that Iran is ready to drag the entire global economy into the abyss with them, turning the Persian Gulf into a catastrophic dead zone if the U.S. decides to enforce its red lines tonight. See the latest updates with us at Visionergeo.
Well, there you have it. Middle East is teetering on the edge of an apocalyptic economic shutdown. Well, Kuwait already is in an apocalyptic shutdown. They're going to run out of water in less than 2 weeks. It's the end of the road for Kuwait. Iran has already hit 3 of their desalination plants. Now, these are the world's most critical commercial hubs. These go offline, it's going to be bad. Especially these 2 airports. The Dubai airport is a major, it's a mega airport, what it is. It's a main link between Asia and Europe. Package, partials, cargo airport. Major, along with civilians. As well as these megaports. Qatar has called for immediate cessation of military operations and attacks that threaten regional security and stability. Also, Iran has struck the Kuwait Petroleum Company, North Pier crude oil export facility. It can be seen from space. Kuwait relies on this hub for 90% of its economy. So Kuwait just lost 90% of its economy. Along with all these power facilities and desalination plants. Kuwait is up poop creek without a paddle now. I don't know what they're going to do. There's massive fires going on throughout Kuwait right now still. And here is Iran repaired a key tunnel that was struck by the U.S. less than 2 hours ago. It is back open for traffic. They dug it out. Pentagon comes out and said they seriously damaged them, and they are already open. The Kuwait Academy of Security has been hit also, and it has burnt. But Abu Dhabi and the Dubai airports tonight. This war could escalate from 1 to 10 real quick this weekend if there's a mass civilian casualty event from an Iranian attack. And here's a video. I'm getting ready to go through all this video over on Rumble and show you everything. Well, Turkey's currency is now officially worth less than toilet paper. Yep, you heard that right. Turkey's currency is now officially worth less than toilet paper. Does anybody have any questions? Agree, no fear here, folks. Yep, share this out, folks. This will really help me rebuild this channel. I was going to get into something here. Iran has begun using new types of missiles. U.S. officials say Iran has significantly upgraded its missile capabilities. Iran is now using missiles that travel at extreme high speeds and can maneuver during their final descent, making them far more difficult for American missile defense systems to intercept. Officials are increasingly concerned of the improved accuracy of Iran's strikes, with some suspecting Iran is receiving targeting data from China and Russia. But like I said, I've said this before. Iran was using their cheap ones, which they had tons of, and they still got tons of, to degrade our stockpiles of interceptors. Iran has previously done this. It is using older generation missiles and drones to saturate and gradually deplete an adversary's air defenses before introducing more advanced weapons once interceptor stocks have been reduced significantly. U.S. officials say they are outmaneuvering as they streak back towards Earth. They are outmaneuvering our air defense systems. And we've also got explosions in Bushehr, Iran. Now that's over where that Bushehr nuclear power plant is. We've got fighter jets over Iraq. Large fires have been reported in Kyiv following the strikes. At least one commercial site in the Desnilsky district was hit. Vehicles also on fire. Also, for folks who's just now joining us, there is a link that is pinned in chats on YouTube and Rumble. If you are in the Discord, you need to get your membership moved over to Coffee Club, please. I'm actively going through and removing people that has not got their membership squared away. So make sure you go in, get your membership squared away. Or if you want to join, we have a awesome closed Discord, folks, with almost 100 channels of every subject imaginable. There is so much news and information that goes through the thing. You cannot read it all in one day. And just like last time, if we get took down somewhere, you will know exactly where we went because we post everything into the All Call channel. Also, folks, the stock market has reached its tipping point. It is starting its decline to the bottomless pit. We have reached the peak, and now we're going to slide down the other side. And how far down this goes, we don't know yet. But I'm looking at the NASDAQ, and we could see NASDAQ at 3,000. Before this is over with. And I am going to let you all listen to this, and then we are going to be moving over to Rumble. And check this out.
Khamenei just published his message. Khamenei did not support or ban negotiations with US at first. He allowed the leadership to decide. The moderate pushed for negotiations and got the mo, then Trump just reneged on every term. It gives Khamenei the cover to say, "I told you so," and the moderate has lost the legitimacy to push for more peace talk. Now the conservatives will push for revenge and destruction of its neighbors supporting this war. Middle East will be changed and many will be impacted. Either US out of the region or Iranian government out of the region for good.
There you have it. And here is, so Iran is going to take this whole thing and twist it.
The repeated breaches of the agreement by the Great Satan, the U.S. regarding the MOU signed by the presidents of Iran and the U.S. have once again laid bare a fundamental truth. The signature of the U.S. president is utterly worthless and devoid of credibility.
That's straight from President of Iran. That's what he just posted. And here is the link if you all want to go check it out. Well, that's, folks, I'm going to post your link over here into YouTube of the Rumble, and we are going to be moving to the Rumble. So I'm going to give everybody a couple minutes. There it is again. I posted it twice to be moving over to the Rumble. Exactly, Michael. But that there just shows you Iran has took it and spun it 180 degrees. So, a couple minutes. I'm going to be shutting down my U-boobs, and we are going to Rumble. So, you all over on U-boob there, click on that Rumble link. You do not have to have a channel to come over and watch us. You just can't talk. Okay, some of you's getting moved over, I see. Yep, Christy Martin, it is going south. Waiting on everyone to get moved over to the Rumble channel. I'm waiting. Here is the link to Rumble. YouTube people, click on that link. Move over to Rumble, please. Hey, folks, I'm ending the YouBoob stream. YouBoob, we will see you tomorrow.